Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Befa. Go croko, ya no me chaja chugeto. And Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto. O'Brien, say, Miss your get chalato. Chale, no be lie. Ibia, ya, Ubia, ya, Laris, Chale, no be lie. Ibia, ya, Ubia, ya, Chroma, shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my abemumo, yeah, then I befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street, nobody care what we do. Nobody care what we go through. Nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, won't try and find out. Your parents, you know, be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say another. I've not bet the cocoa. When the my break up it. Mulinke Mr. John. Yes, see what when the bed is hard. Chale, no be lie. Shit, be yeah. Shit, be yeah. That is hard. Chale, no be lie. Shit, be yeah. Shit, be yeah. Chroma, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my abemumo, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Chroma, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my abemumo, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa.
Savage Nick.
Speed rolling.
Yes, sir. Baby, yeah. Nasu baby, pepper that pain. Baby, yeah. Nasu baby, pepper that pain. Ghana for there are some so I say Winty, Obi Bedi my tem. But some things need to be said in 10 Kaniwu, let it out to the baskets, contain. Let's start with religion and these big ass churches. Pastors more paid than teachers and nurses. How the preachers they afford these big benches and nobody questions it from the pews and the benches. Hey, education getting poorer at a higher price. Less quality teachers and more strikes. Students know the land, chill for all night. These views might be leftist, but it's alright. Election time, politics by these novices may empty their wallets and give us empty promises. How can I trust you when you say what you don't do? I vote for you, you work for me, that's the cold truth. Judgment debts, G that report. I will get into this thing. Baby, yeah. Nasu baby, pepper that bang. Baby, yeah. Nasu baby, pepper that bang. One day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be. But when one day will come, they say the only time parliamentarians they agree is when they talk about raising their own salaries. The only time Kotiko gets bribe from me is February 20 and never. With me boy. She has had traffic problems, oh yeah. So I know they bought why they had to build a mall there. Congestion is vexing, so the horns blare. Lafayette is rampant, all of we they sled. To each his own, me I'm not a saint here. I hope every radio station hears me real clear. It's a moon on the dorsal, too much loose talk, no fact checking. This be news, oh. More beauty pageants and award shows. Why we have so damn many, only God knows. Nothing ever starts on time. Insanity. We need to step a game up, improve quality. And I came here to murder mediocrity. Sorry, I don't even start here. Baby, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a baby, they be a baby. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day will come, one day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day will come, yeah, I've noticed there's child lies in showbiz. More hocus pocus, so bogus. More skullduggery from promoters. This will not make me popular. Charlie, I know this. Ghana wants to be internationally heard, or so I hear. But we cheat and don't treat each other fair. Chris Brown got paid an arm and a leg. Good for him. But you want to pay me peanuts? That's absurd. I know there are levels to make sense. Doesn't help, we making songs that don't make sense. Kindergarten raps and corny punchlines. And most tracks sound so horny most times. On the bright side, we get potential intense. We need to work harder, it's essential for the win. We can't think critique, it's taboo or a sin. I wrote this out of love, sincerely yours, M. Vim. More things are fit to talk, but one day go be, They be a baby, they be a baby. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a baby, they be a baby. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day go come, one day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day go come.
Welcome to the Think Tank Show. And this will be a live dream your my most your Chrome Ghana mostly. In some Bebrenesi, we had the rule and that page now. And then we're going to talk about a right demonstration on whether it's effective demonstrations cry now who they know is it still there. Demonstration are effective. We are man footy. And omutie kura omudi ye adwuma. That's one thing I ever come myself. Now secondly, so 11 107. Baby akwa kudru no aban say 11 no. Sika na wona adwuma say 11 in the mind no. Enyo sa sika na 11 dey mind nti no. Ordering by Friday, remember say if they are going to go back to IMF, so initially now man for catch them say, I won't call IMF no munyai we na chibi. Omunyai 11 no mun call IMF. Now by today be IMF be on because IMF no kwa. All those of me boa na ho chere the bro room for. 2015 Ghana you call IMF and CBI. You free IMF you could at 900 and something million, almost 1 billion. You free IMF by advance 2019. It's a bass for the first by 2016 to 19, the first 3 years in the crowd. Now IMF from run a year to the way I spend this card, the way I borrow money. It's not IMF from run a year to now you free I think you free 2019 ended to 2020 now. A binance Kata starts to manage the affairs, the financial affairs of Ghana. It's IMF because from 2015 up to 2019 now bank current even find the part because according to IMF now the government was too big. The government was employing so many people are no more adding any value to like to the country. They weren't adding any value. It's IMF really say it doesn't make sense. You are borrowing money to pay these people that you are hiring that are not doing anything. Into no sad amount high ni pay. So that was IMF no na asmo kind some kaya it was even used during the election 2016 election say yako join IMF ama sisi kra no yintimi mfa nipa ewo adwum no new party or mobile there mo ko join IMF via Emma problem that problem number because they want to employ a lot of Ghanaians because Ghana for bread. You know, 2019 year free na 2020 yaba COVID aba 2022 so 2021 as you use economy no say na say no we think say the best way to go about it say ya ebe generate ya isika we pro instead of say acquire me from washeshe mrama nti ya ebe join we pro nti enko join IMF bia which Ushima Eka, not that I'm supporting E-Levy because I've never supported E-Levy. E-Levy, I mean, Philly said, it's not going to go where it's supposed to go. And I wasn't a fan of E-Levy, and I'm still not. But what I'm saying is that the general principle of say I be release instead of going to IMF, you know, it made sense to me. You know, just that the way they were going about it, the cover make sense to me. But then the general rule actually made sense to me. You know, the free IMF 2019, and to see how so Sunday home then. The person there who go join it. But mind you, COVID nearby association. Some kaya you could use the IMF for $1 billion. $1 billion for IMF for. You know, but said yeah, we share sa omu be kono mama ye bia soft loan bia na so mama ye grant. Then they call 2015 on mine almost $1 billion. Now for omu ma share how I use sikado, how binding behavior no. We don't want to do it again. Into new journey IMF, yeah, be the sika. Amount for can the finance minister, our able finance minister said, no, never. Because why go to IMF? You beat me. Yeah, you beat me, you know, we can raise the money ourselves. To me, you know, it made sense, honestly. Like I said, but just say 11 on person the raising and then the exact thing on the can be na almost to papa so kaka. Some say the can be there like almost everything. You do baby a kwanya almost so you try 11 na no meet my kwanya. Oka bibia beka bia the results in the say with the 11 no your mom 11 na bibia ebeto na queen into no patcho wo hwa just share my na ya to as minimum ka senya share na share ntina ase me share ntina ase my attention I divide the kakra so ma mo share ma me se ne be ya me ja share. You know, baby Adri, government complain say 11 sikana omu projected say ebema no sikano omu sanka they are getting less than 10%. You know, mo person mo hwe kwan omu be faso na one of the normal mo contemplating say ABI yɛbɛkɔ IMF ɛna Ghana fo bebree ka sɛ IMF kro ya na monkɔ a mo sɛ yɛkɔ a kuro no bɛbɔ no na mo pɛ sɛ mokɔ akɔgye sika bi asɛ mo bɛkɔ IMF na it doesn't really make sense sɛ yɛkɔ IMF nti no saa reasons a mo ma then na asesa reasons a mo sɛ yɛkɔ IMF a restrict here. We cannot employ people near the what has changed? I have to say no there. More person will call IMF. It's you go so you go so almost say Friday. You be say Friday or maybe say IMF no. Kwa ala say taxes no be too much. And I say you live in Imran no messesa ne kakra. Eno na me boa Friday but because so mo committee no nti no me pay omo committee nti oh Jesus yeah omo committee nti no ane na omo dwe hu sisi nyambo a ochena by the end of ochena ye be hu ya ye US na ye be hu no ABI ya no pa na ewiem ho what it has got into. Secondly, so yeah bebo we no ho so demonstration na we di kan bebo demonstration no ho an komo kakra. Secondly no so ya ye wofa Kennedy Japan say he wants to challenge for the presidential candidacy of the New Patriotic Party. You know, it's in telling me I said for obey president. Again done it tomorrow, no be president. Be okay. And I've spoken to some few friends I'm close to him. I'm 100% sure say if this man becomes president, all our problems will be solved. And they have so many people with reservations. And but for a gentleman of his stature to be a president, you must say his temperament is not that of it's not that of any presidential quality. And in some of the others, I'm not a supporter of him being a president. But we will discuss that. And you know, other issues. Cathedral before because Cathedral has signed by president is still hiring jets. And the so and so if the time and I think minister Accra Regional Minister I think it will be that's the topic I want to discuss. Accra Regional Minister or call Center for CIRS. Komasa say about 1,000+ acres. Kofua encroachia manaka 200 acres. Omako bank akobo bosia. Abetuol afa 200 acres. Amafo buon every 200 acres. Asidanya ko Bruce even omo veterinary clinic. I see one obi at war nipa 4 be at war left be at war right be at war the cheek be at war the nim war no kosoro krana war no kosoro krana how kofo betime ra clinic for no krana e be a problem. And Accra Regional Minister, my favorite minister for say the past year 20 years. When they saw the problem, knew the only solution to solve the problem once and for all and carried it out. The next day, 48 hours, was solve a problem. Assemble. And I mean, I wonder, say, me am crew. Bono region, the regional minister, Madam Masum, would be call say Masum, Mayor Hojima, I want to interview. I'm hoping that Madam Masum, money, and they will also leverage on it. All the regional ministers around the country, the other 14 regional ministers, into their money, Oko Ghana now nam kwan so a pedestrian walk no near Ghana a friend pavement no come a friend sidewalk a month for the cure says siswa from tree to tree on nama just a pine so you have to walk on the road. And I don't know if these regional ministers are more other regions. Some of you don't have city, not some of you, all of you, none of you. I want a city as big as Accra. So I just said, and this man is doing this job. Ghanaians are praising him. We want law and order. The fact that party member could secure, baby, and secure, and you know, and our head so, we're here in our so. Because you know, Charlie, something that wasn't there just about 10 years ago. It's a kiosk, but baby crying everywhere. Why building indiscriminately? But this man, Charlie, Yamishan, Drew, I ever took a crap for her. I think that now was struggling to get on. It might be posted. Yeah, link for anybody who wants to join. So, but someone join here, but to me, I join it. I'm in fact linking it and to her. Now, if anybody wants to join, you can come and join. No, I mean, me, original minister, and Commissioner their crowd, and I'll take this as an opportunity because we'll be here, and I'm going to manifest on your career there. Your penny, your career there. It's me. Anyway, link in the one. Anybody who wants to join can actually just click on the link or copy the link and post it. Paste it on your address bar. Clicking that bit. So we're going to start with I think they start with demonstration. In you free hot tentem na ifra yako ana ifra yako IMF ne nsensam so. Pacho ubasa na washe abamena like we are see 9 people in here, so I'm expecting at least nine shares and nine likes na into a show so let me be sure this is
my second. Now make us say security presence demonstration na se no ye we ketwa. Na we no aposifo a omutwe afidie tetanfo moto yi bi e na omo nso toa so e kono. Minim say we reinforcement but wɔ grounds hɔ nankasa no sei ɛna ɛkɔ no aposifoɔ ɛde bus ɛna kyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ ya ne abɛhwie ɔmo gu hɔ ne ɛkɔ ɛnyɛ buses baako ɛnyɛ mmienu mmiɛnsa nie ɛno akyi nso no wɔn a ɛkita water cannon mekyerɛ afidie a utumi tu nsuo ɛfa mu nsuo hyɛ ne nsuo nyi wɔ mu bi ebi si hɔ saa afidie mu ntum no mmienu ɛna ɛno nso ɛwɔ scene hɔ a ɛno nso no bambɔ ampee ɛna wɔn ɛbɔ ɛwɔ hɔ aposifoɔ bi kita tuo wɔn a ɛkita tear gas ɛna kyerɛ sɛ bambɔ na enti wei ɛyɛ aposifoɔ ɛna ahyɛ kaa yi mu abe a wɔn nso no wɔn ɛde wɔn aba scene hɔ a wɔn bɛbɔ ban demonstrators ni bi nso ekita wɔn placards wei sɛ ɔsɛ the momo business is collapsing nti yɛsɛ Moncler E11 no ɛno ɛyɛ obi di a watwerɛ ɛna kyerɛ sɛ amanfo edi asa police ayiri na ɛbɔ no ɛno koraa abɛyɛ ɛyɛ rhythm abɛyɛ melody a amanfo edi di asa wɔ hɔ ɛno nyɛ asɛm ketewa ɛwɔ Kwame Nkrumah cycle ne nyinaa ɛyɛ Arise Ghana wɔn ɛyɛ kyerɛ a wɔn sɛ wɔn ɛbɛyɛ no na polisifoɔ no sisi a na kwan na sɛ ha na sinti no ama wɔn abu afa nkyɛn a wɔn kɔfa hɔ akɔbɔ ban yi mu ɔden ahyɛseɛ no video baako a yɛn nsa kan IGP yɛwura Dr. Akufo Dampare ɛhyɛ polisifoɔ sɛ wei na mokɔ no bambɔ a mokɔbɔ no nyɛ bambɔ a asɛ ntɔkwasɛm ɛna mode kɔ hɔ na mmom obi biara a wobɛto no ɛwɔ yɛkyerɛ no ase no fa no sɛ wo nua fa no sɛ wo dɔfo fa no sɛ wo papa bi ɛna wo ne no ahyia enti no bɔ mmɔden a sɛ biribiara a ohia biara no fama no bambɔ emu ɔden ɛna momfa ma ɔmo ma mo ne ɔmo ɛnyɛ gidigidi na mmom woma biribiara nkɔ so tɔɔtee na saa ɔdɔ no a na ɛda polisifoɔ ne Ghanafoɔ ntam no ɛnsan mmra na saa rehyɛ mu no nso no ɛnsan mmra enti wei Kwame Nkrumah cycle ɛna wɔhwɛ ɛwɔ Kofi TV so sɛ Kofi radio nso ɛna wɔhwɛ me a mɛsrɛ no mama wakɔ aba sɛ Facebook na wɔhwɛ me a na wafollow ama me saa nso ɛna YouTube na wɔhwɛ me a na wasubscribe ama me n sɛ kayofoɔ ɛdi asa paa nyɛ asɛm ketewa wɔsɛ stop recruiting hooligans into the police service obi placard nea yɛatwerɛ ɛwɔ so ɛno no na wɔhwɛ m'anim hɔ a wɔn sɛ polisifoɔ asi ban ɛwɔ Kwame Nkrumah cycle ɛyɛ footbridge anaasɛ flyover overhead a ɛtwa mu free Accra New Town ɛforo soro hɔ ɛtwa mu kɔ Nkran no ɛhɔ no polisifoɔ yi a wohui nso ɛyɛ the other side of the road ɛhɔ nso na wɔn bɔ ho ban pampee form police unit for wɔn afidie mu ntum ɛna esi hɔ no ɛhyɛn ɛtoa so nyinaa yɛ polisifoɔ hyɛn apolisifoɔ wohu black tuntum na egyina hɔ na apolisifoɔ nyɛ Nkran wei apolisifoɔ mo aba ɔmo bɛyire bambɔ mu ɛwɔ ɛyɛ demonstration a Arise Ghana for ɛyɛ no hwɛ okadafoɔ mo abɛgyina ɛtwa video adan mo yɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ti polisifoɔ na ka mo ti kɔ sɛ krache nti ohwɛ polisifoɔ yi a ɔmo nyina ɛbɔ ban ɛhwɛ sɛ ɛkwan a.
So that was the beginning of the demonstration. Everything was fine. The IGP addressed all the policemen as to Omokoye, and you know, police forces to strategic places. Now they were ready. I think the problem was that narration I'm free. Organizers of the demonstration, it's about 9 minutes. I didn't want to play that, but I can summarize that for you. They say, after meeting the police, you know, the agreed route that me as on Mubefa. On D-Day, the police wanted Castle Momo Pasa Sapine also. You know, there was a problem there. And a friend is saying, time so a normal person made a demonstration. He went to court and you know so they have to compromise on the time. I think the demonstrators wanted to finish at 10. The police wanted them to finish at 6. So we ended up at 8. But almost could drew. I'm from a circle now, more gather about the corner. Police furniture say 8 to them, 6. So what the demonstrators decided to do is say they weren't going to march to Jubilee House as they said initially, saying they are not going to march there. And they decided said they are going to just gather at a circle and just address a circle. But when they started doing the address, and the police force started push according to demonstrators. Police force started shells, push trying to let them move. So I'm caught route no match up. No, we're not going to use that for route. So when I am far out now, no more agree on it, then we're not going to go nowhere. Police for the push on some na police in for no. A to tear gas. A to crowd. To tear gas and a crowd started some more route. So they started throwing stones. This is almost trouble. The police for no. Now, according to demonstrators, much crash say police be the car to Ozika to and warfare go police for them. That is very hard for me to. But according to them, the police had plans and it's normal. So more normally more demonstrations in normal police for suspects say and they how bad don't normally bring plans. The nipa dressing mufti obedience so you think that they are part of the demonstration but actually planned. So obedience money or demonstration they can find the person and they can arrest the person. So I just say. But according to demonstrators, one of those plans and a tool born first. And then the police started routing. They want to blame the police for the route. Ghana Web TV.
For somebody to
I think that's the wrong video. Wrong video. So we have a kind of later. So after tear gas and a stone through, no self for 4 12 because of vandalizing things for no man. It was crazy. I think there were pictures of some people that were pretty hurt. Police for no be brave, free pride. Oh Jesus. That's terrible. Terrible.
I'm the driver. The driver is one our GP 155. So there's no deal.
That was the police car. It was totally vandalized. Police for 9C and Johnny Africa. I mean, somebody could have been seriously hurt. And the pictures from aftermath now, you know, you would have seen, say, nah, it was terrible. That one could be prepared. Now, and then a man for Casse. Police for no. Your fault. I don't know. It's a matter for debate. I hope somebody with that kind of will be our supporters outside. Will join us now. Why explaining why they think it was the police fault? Route a buyer. We must think of call. Baby, I was na no money agree on that. And they would have just marched, gone there, done their speeches, and have just left. But when you decided to force them,
one simple but brilliant trick to cool your home in 90 seconds.
You know, I mean, this is a question to Ghana police. Will be a demonstration. I don't know. It doesn't. Well, and especially because there were a constitution.
Transport Tuesday afternoon. As a demonstration crowd ready to march against the current rising cost of living in the country clashed with police officers. The demonstrators were protesting what they call bad governance, corruption, insecurity, among several other concerns. Under President Akufo-Addo, they insisted on marching through Ring Road Central to the Jubilee House as against a directive for them to use the Kwame Nkrumah Avenue to the Independence Square. The police deployed about 500 officers with an order from the IGP to ensure a smooth event. Manuel Cranton captured the situation.
So what we're seeing currently in the shots are the protesters, some of them throwing and flying stones towards the police crowd control vehicles. Again, as we get closer to the action, you see a heap of car tires that have actually been set ablaze in the middle of the once really motorable space which connected the Kwame Nkrumah section, Kwame Nkrumah interchange section of the road to the Ring Road Central area. Now, more and more stones are being flown from the protesters towards the police officers, and more and more stones are being flown from the side of the protesters towards the police officers. And that's what we have. What they sent to you?
They throw rubber bullets. Yes, it's rubber bullets.
So these are the samples of the rubber bullet that is.
They are the samples of the rubber bullets. Oh, these are the samples.
But we also saw you throwing stones.
Look myself. This is rubber bullets.
If the police, I listen to me. If the police are scared of terrorist attack infiltrating us, the stupidity they are exhibiting would rather encourage terrorists if they are here to take action. If we do it peacefully, without the stupidity, the terrorists will not have the opportunity to do what they want to do. If their reason is about terrorism attack, the stupidity they are exhibiting. If
you keep mentioning what stupidity and so on, but the police are not allowing.
All right. I think so. You've had enough. Now, how was it? So now, if you have the mic to talk a bit about it.
Yeah, more than. More than never brutalism here.
Now,
Yeah, my brutality no sakra.
Answer me, You fast na brass na.
Oh, dama. Mugwajumiti. Ebono ho ajenga kam. Maya onfa. Mugwe furo. Okay. Ide bibia last mpacho one share na yentum. Yanka na adwencha. Ghana mpanyimfo. Adweno ayede. Ti Kwame, enzo na oroko. Your name? Hello.
Now was it? Yeah, the demonstration in the first day of the demonstration, no. Demonstrators no could draw on police for some more crime. Or more far out now, more car once them. You know, decided say Kwame Kumase or Honana. Over your mother, no Marco. Now police for no, yet my munina. And I pushing a tear gas by pushing and a diamond to Kana, Bonina. A boom. So,
yeah.
Na second day, no. I think and then no more second day, no. More second day now, police will not allow more far quiet. No markers on my fashion. You see, money BS, Pia Nipa for credit your claim. There are for argument say, Sagana, yeah, demonstration. Anytime I ever try to stop the demonstration in India, and the violence back. Telling a police for new that the moon has a lesson. Say, if the demonstration is on the mover, and Fabasabasaba, but if you try so for so more, Marco Shakona Bima, the Beyond Maribel, the Bia Bayatoka. It's in one some American besides who
yeah, Kwame, Madasi. Oyanokor. Every day, BRA, Uber Damo demonstration, I post for start today, Uber block of Kwanda, one tema. One of what demonstrating 1 for 1, Kwame wasn't Tokoba. Because in Pokunenya, no China, Junatra Abanon. Now, what's I watching a prayer blocking because from Abano, but more saying that I will not there, but my phone no ban. Now, it is when especially this administration and every day, BLO, if you manage, you know, put all year. That was in a pet, and I post first started there was injection I wanted to do. You ain't saying one. No, I could court, no, I catch a court, I drink it. Well, blast, no, the whoop a fair day, be bare. That was in a Emma no con more and ever no banner. Dama Abani or my apostle from Yakon or Yadama, Abani to Nuntium. In Jim Nenta Dam Pariola, but no was said Amazon. But Sana Dam Parimo or your West cratch and one of what the data one. Kwame. And young Kofi at no for 20 days. And you want to cast me last minute as a bachima program in Abaddon. Etu to me court today and task today over Dama programming up to 10 o'clock. Well, one can say one and she we Kwame also to Baba. Also how Baba and the moon there how could the bring my protophone, bring one away Dama programming. Because video you not put for example to Baba. Kwame mo picture bi wa ma the best no police no shane ambulance call mo to Baba. Police ya waso tear gas wa akoto no de duase no de mebi de ibuntuntu dam no. Wa branta police for na woda nche wo boyan ho banan. Mo wo look tiati mo me fon police nan kasan po order eden kaka be bi ma nzamo ne fridge osa agba no. Kwame akwa post phone won no ya yoro ne fridge sa agba no. Apost phone won ye no mo won yimi ya yin wontwa blog. That man's in young one, yellow come one, you know. A person for season one water one entel, one water on one papa or gun or my first is soon to them. Yellow come a post for now, but damn palipe, damn pada pesa, yem lencha padi or your virgin cram, some long as we're breaking once and all about. Kwame.
And I was about to say, some way, I said, oh, what a dad, or Miss
Kwame,
it's a demonstration.
No, Malacade. I mean, America, and Dampari, you don't enjoy a virgin. Say, you don't enjoy a virgin. Son and Lankas, we're breaking on. Only 3 years, no breaking on. We bet no, and yet a person fool, or you want to cast a fefe, oh, why yet to me, one more son of bois. And to my idea so. Kwame yɛn nyinaa yɛhwɛ video no bi yɛn nyinaa wɔ pictures wɔ yɛn phone do fɛ ɛkɔ Facebook as no the whole life dɛnti na wɔwɔ hɔ adwene dam dɛnti na wɔtetete mmɛmufo no dam Kwame wɔ adwene sisi wɔn a wɔapirapira na wɔn a ebi ne mfe ebi ne nwa lutwin wɔkeka wɔ suppose for asɛ wɔn ka na sɛ ɛma wɔn kɔ no ma wɔdua wɔkorɔ yɛ a nti wɔbɛsɛ ɛwɔ kaala second run yɛ wɔyɛ yɛ sɛ wɔbɔ mi wɔfam tɔɔten dɛ Moses ɔsɛ no dɔm no fam wɔfam ma ebia no mpo no ho anti dɛnti da Ghana dɛnti yɛn ankasa yɛtete yɛn ho dam Kwame apostle na wɔafa wɔn ankasa wɔnyɛ apostle bia wɔyɛ yufo sebio wɔyɛ yufo twam no wɔgum ebuhwe posi bi na abodwu nyina efu apart from de yɛ yimda abrochira ka amazon wa Ghana no onyiwo wɔafa an Roberts nkotin wɔze gu police no wɔafa sebio wɔn no wonyim akankan sebio wɔn no wonyim hwee 1+1 mpo ohun because oya full soldier nti the woman atare mo hye ebo posi mpa no ɔtena ambulance card do na oketetru ɔze dominum wabra wo fa na Russia fo wolokun Ghana posifo wo gina won tumo nkobi Russia fo na wo kun won tu no nyina won se won kɔ Russia no won kɔkun Kwame amanzam da manzam na oyɛ mehi wo Ghana aposifo wa na Ghana aposifo won wunye hi wo Ghana o won wunye eko won kɔ test wa Kwame minyim protein bi pa mukɔ na ntimba kɛsɛ Kwame sebio Beke yi mutun onyim ko bush na mko ke yi mutun wa bra won na mpo bi nsi wo gol wo gina ba no wo gol won tum wan kasa na timemu fre ya kasa am wona won so wo so won tenyen ya dan Paris minyim na maraka mimna nto ay virgin sa na mpo we break no onye trace no break na virginity on nam social media na oye ocho blood kokko Otora banchi social media. Kwame dan pare be nyankasa. Amenawo no nyi ofo ne nyenya yetra yebo na about do ncha papa azo oba ba yen. Sana lankasa oya popular. Ye mi nche wa ko school London o nyansa kakra woni tirim. As no so o hwe vice president wezi. Nto olobo MP before won ban. O mbotime mu funu won ban. Na on ze mi hye no kosa. Mama nsum ntonada mama nata no nyunguo da wewie no police adwuman na kaka mutuma aka che nan de Kennedy ka che nan de onyimi bia wewu no ho bi ye pro obebe ya no masa maka che nan MP no win oso onyimi ho bi ombra me ya no no nje ahen na nyamba wo Ghana kaka mutuma aka che Kwame ngba na adwuma anjima kire mfimi sema
That's it. Except for Mike, Mammy. Now you okay, dear. I that's some. Hansen.
Now. We didn't cry for no fun too. I'm home for now. We dear Massa in real Bonomo. You know, media make us a Ghana police for no na Memphis say. Communication no protection no em say and no mabi wo ho monti ase because nipa na besre kwan wa ma ne kwan ena emra na yede chichiri kru no which is constitution no omo call court grant omo say omo timi ye kire e de kire aban no enti o ye messenger o protect omo keke say omo be ye kire na ye Achra ban no enti ade ma wo so de wo pe eche omo se no emra na ye nyina ye disu wo Ghana no o se o da bi me ma wo nni sa emra no so enti wo protect omo se omo nko ba bi omo pese omo ko enti technically no I say police for no above the constitution no sa na me hu no say because say omakwaje a free court na court agranti omoso mbetimi aye ye kire na koba bi omope biara ade na wo Ghana police no wo kire say no untime mfa roadway untime mfa kwanway na which means wo patch say police for momra na Ghana mra no so wo na asese enti abo no kro moto ye no Kwame less okay less Ghana police for no kra no omo appointee omo so omo protest no kra no Kwame mo issue hwe ema na no mo free bus no mesi form no obi anu ho am defo say obi anu ho no like what prepare say em say omo ye omo say omo come match em say we no omo de omo match for 6 match no because obi anu ho like one man protective gear bia say on fanye
it was very sad.
Yeah. Because nipa no so onko bo you hu ban at least woman na ba kra keke just keke but we know as a handkerchief na kita omo eni because heat no yes we ni bia no e kire say na omo nye prepared say omo betimi ayeden a control that crowd no na omo like kakra no so no more protect omo no as omo ko Ghana ko na me fan say Kwame ufie eje to ufie wa fire service for nje nsuo da but Ghana police for nsuo ewo track omo betimi di abekun abedum abepata so somoro ni nyina na de no matter what say eyi nyina me de Ghana police na me de yi ne be mo because court grant you almost mutimi ye kire and at time no mo share no court nim says ebem like there was an issue and come on grant you almost say omonpon 8 no it is a wo Ghana police penny now kase which means say a court no kra no leaders na me fans omo ye protest no edu Ghana police eco court because I say omo ndim bra no so I won't say you know like last minute na me fan say mo G2 mu de but emra na yedi okro no so enti me nka say we Ghana police we nana and as we emra na diwa adu Ghana police for empaying for omo ko ni nyina no so omo de omo ba asem dibia na ye twe omo aso because akwa say Ghana no part bi de enti wa wo yetima mufo no de onka sa group no ho a onka ho enti no to me ni de so omo de omo court na omo be yi omo ano enye dampare issue empayinfo no omo di animu no because enye dampare na authorizes sa normal way no at least obi she na say no so be dey edi sa aduma no nti omo sa nkofo ni nyina no so omo de omo ba na omo be yi omo ano na all dress it is any oko Ukraine war na Ukraine for
so into the who feel say route na buy na police for no
Kwame first of all the location no kwa na omo cost Ghana ye Dubai no abuba e say Ghana no ye developing we there but location no almost start demonstration no e have no munya abo no e free. So what I say, the one develop kakra, engine a din say ubenya abo was outside of. And to say yamma yeti taswana, me fan say abotan in suyiri abo no. Because that location no a din so benya abo. It's a heaven of munya abo wing in a tree. At the buy. It to me need a plan work. Been a plan abo be raining in me baby Ghana for a demonstration solo cool because I know that
we shouldn't be like that
because instead of say be a say himself Black Lives Matter ye call demonstration massa you block road for 5 minutes yes here be out to 5 minutes but Ghana na dey solo cool na ye kochi who be so omokwa say dey na here be braining me
we be crying David
so enti we no mo nyele I don't know ni jekeke because
crowd did we ya no ma me ko benefit
Because you need to obi a man sabi yes, obi be boku, be tare no to. So what yeah, police for no money.
Kwame, Miss Wasma, I put the Fambo Cannon, Nancy, remember no woman I have it. Jesus Christ.
One I send me to our oh, GBC for class and stamp to sue, which means authentic. Ama.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think?
Well, media, dear me, who ya a trim my drink kakra, yeah, video me share ya na as a fanny to police for the say, remember if you're not in a uniform, you would have been at the other side too. I was like, really? Just yeah. Just everything about us is a joke. Seriously, you can't through, but you're very sad. All this while you're training police for you, and to me, and can't say if you are in a uniform, and now and you common say you said the police are our friends, and yes, sanity. Since when did we forget all that? Police are there for us. They are there to protect us, and that is why if you see a police and something is happening, you run to the police. And then you sanity. After all of a sudden, no. Yeah, quite demonstration. As I said, yeah, 2 police of waffle. I don't know who recorded that video to put out there, but me feel said I disgracing the police folks in a way. Because
I think police for now post on social media.
Yeah, but why that day though? Because that now demo demonstration now protecting the dano nansen year 2 phone. And I was like, into all this word then you trade police for. So and police organization I kind of agree. Now and police for in so and many moments have nothing, no helmet, no protection gears or anything. They were just dressed with their big bomb coming in like that. Empty-handed, nothing. Kutashe, a baby and kutam. Now reflect and come share reflect a big krangu atari uniform no so chest okay. Nothing. Which also shows that something is lacking with us. Na yegusu ni amaya yegusu kase terrorism better into we are protecting. But your force, no, I trusted there is no protection even there among themselves. They have no tools, no equipment, nothing. Into say boy ne come video ni mu say mostly you're protecting your home because of this and that. In case Ankrofoni be BB and this, the boy was right. So
that's true.
So BB say a bonifo never frame and come be BB. They would have done it. The police have no ammunition, nothing. But rather a boy, the police came there with her boy say Nkrofo be attacking you.
Police are not so boy. Oh boy. I think Manusu Ama.
The network article. Hey, simple move for ideas.
But Barrister George has sent me at dinner. I have to find a way to meet me here. I'm a sort of camp. I think we've lost you. You might have maybe changed the mic on yours. Now fix the mic in the Sambra. I think you were finishing your point. Anyway, we'll fix the mic. Anytime you want to come on, you can just step in and then you can finish your point. We might call our next topic, which is the e-levy. Now, e-levy as media. And yeah, nothing. Nyakofa buy ni nya say 2015. And that was the NDC with no more power. And almost investor confidence. Akofom. In order to boost our confidence, Romkoshia was saying chi. Ghana economics guru sinyina Romkoshia was saying chi. And on do that time, MPP forecast some do na o adwan e be bumaya. Only adwan e bumaya and ka o me president. Our president that what did here. Master for our adwan. So Romkoshia was saying chi no me imagine say. In order for Ghana to appear nice for the investors, some could join the IMF. We hear more IMF for. Na ometimi aye. Some could join the IMF. Some could join IMF for boa. Na IMF more about 980 million Ghana cedis. $80 million dollars. And now Modim Rabbi Bay say, first of all, government want to employ. I think apart from the police and the military, want to employ Obia or any of the ministries or government should put a halt on employment because they are employing people by productivity is too low. I want to say, I'm about to finish your point and I want to also.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. My voice just cut off or something.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you again. Yeah, a lot is happening in our police force, and I think that needs to be checked out. For the demonstration, for those that participated, I would say they did well. But as a Ghana force, demonstration and seal because people take it to be like, oh, the MPP, the NDCs in the opposition demonstrating. So to help with what they would do. These two evil twins. Oh my Ghana for Bonnet Papa. Oh my to say
evil twins.
I must say Ghana for to the sense even if you are talking something right, it's like if you are not tagging MPP, you are tagging NDC. Now it's affecting them because people take it to be so demonstration. Not just is you are going against the government, but not because of what is going on now, which was very, very lame. Sasana baby then it's very bad. Meanwhile, people are talking about the situation, but they see it to be because they are in a position, that's why they are doing that, which shouldn't be like that.
I know that it's going to be hard for you to take that out of the mind of Ghanaians because at the moment, Obina can ask them, say, opposition, Abenya Asamana any day because when you say, if anybody talks, they are talking for them. But me want to say, that's their job though. Opposition, you want to say. Go ahead.
But then, so because of opposition, we shouldn't say what is wrong and what is right. So do we have to be mute because if we talk, we'll be talking on the favor of the opposition. But this brought me back to this question though. When the NDCs were in power, anybody that voice was talking for NPP, was that what it was? Because it seems this is what it is now, which is quite confusing. And another point too, the last time I was watching the program, a certain Rasta man came to the video, and according to him, MPP is doing well, but the reason why they are not responding to people is Nkrofo Ntiasem, and they have to use dictatorship for the people to regulate the system. According to Aquano, sir, Akufo-Addo Bekasa na police phone fee because now they have to practice dictatorship. The regulated system. Does that make any sense? Well, that was what the guy put across. Something that is still bothering my mind. Are we democratic practicing dictatorship. What is it? Where are we now? Anyway,
and that's a whole topic for another day. This particular government, I think right now they are calming down a bit, but initially, now if we're a little outspoken, and we came from Mama time now Obia to me card of it. So we thought, say, I mean, we are just continuing with the same thing. If not anything, it's going to be better now. Freedom of speech is going to be better now because the president now is an advocate for human rights. It's to say but when journalists started dying, threats, people were, I mean, yeah, by YouTube, it will shock you. Some of us who come on YouTube and Facebook and come to just talk about things happening and just laugh about it. Some of us are getting threats. It's I know that I'm fully say, like the government is using a heavy hand to kind of quell every dissent, whatever he feels a dissent, he's just going to use the heavy hand. And then I'm an ambassador, but I don't think he's being autocratic. But normally the force are Odisha opposition sometimes is way too strong. And the threats, I mean, two journalists have been shot dead. Some journalists, they say they can go after your image to say Anas. They went after his image for like 2 years continuous. They will get Captain Smart, right? They got his job to fire him. It's and I'm for Philly said they're being a bit autocratic, but the constitution still says democratic. It's a better fan. Answer an episode, okay, and answer moving on. Because you're quite 11.
Oh, Ghana for the.
All right. So on to 11. Now, 11 cents, I mean, them sure so be aware. 2015, as I was saying, and I joined IMF, some boy for our image, almost not investor confidence. I low. Investor confidence is very low, and I just say, almost share, almost project economy now.
Oh my God, that's time.
It's for I think the reason for this to help us discipline ourselves in the way I spending near borrow. So we couldn't borrow anymore, and I ain't me high in so and bad government. But I made the whole number of me admin pa government and I ain't me high in because come ministries and go to they have to put a stop to that. It even during the 2016 election, it became an issue. I'm discussing around Moko joining IMF. I mean, what say? It's me, yes, she. So, Mokaya, yes, sir. Incompetent mama, any day. Baumiane, Nebra, Manado by. Na, Omubai. First, 2015, a day, Mukoshim, International IMF. Rules na the year Juma 2019. No, I think 2019 or 2019. Late 2019 and yani IMF for we and not just a music and on the mine. It made him run so the African free. And it will share the numbers and economic numbers now from 2015 to 2019. Excellent. Bia balance kama yen spending too much yen ko borrow sika o baby na your economy na work well na amount for crack say by 2025 kra no na ya hit your targets be brave na just Ghana is self sustainable. It 2019 free man yes you say the ya ye be boy ho bra in a starty borrowing galore. Ya bora. See, within 6 years, because 2019 count. To show within by 3 years, ya borrow twice as much kana yade within 3 years. Into economy na ay tan. And a COVID be boom. COVID be boom no. And a IMF so mo kan ho dia. Munje 1 billion bi na mo yade. Mo fan sorte COVID na Ghana for mo no so mo do yes mo yes 32 million or something. To the munye sika we na mo fan sorte mo. And the sorte ho a. Nti 2021 ending ho na aban ka say na the way ade yi koyi dia ya brobosia masese ye kwaje bosia kra na obi ase odeba ya yintimi ntia nti omo mfa amanye nti no we have to start generating sika by ourselves. You could do some preference kra na opposition ene nipa bebre ka say you know what ade 2019 na as you see good road so am get me kopa na kaka ya buinti mo ma yen kwa chiripe mo ya san ko join IMF na yen san ko di mrana na edisu ni san mrana so kama within by 3 or 4 years you bet my sense back to the good road so and the finance minister ka say sa kakra ye ho chire kakra na adwane akwa IMF na amwaye to say no 1957 ye wo ye kra ye di 60 plus. You know, we have to, it's about time. I say I can generate sika we krum ha. Na ye ho kire a ye da hwe ho. So mo kan. Na ye say finance minister say IMF there. Debi on join IMF bia. No. On your small boys na ko join IMF. You know, me and me kasanya san okay, but you know, the question to me bought a series of videos. Now you're using that as a base for our discussion.
Has criticized former President Mahama and members of the NDC for suggesting that government should return to the IMF for a bailout as an alternative to the passage of the e-levy. Director of Communications Yao Boabena Samoa at a media briefing said continuous attempts by the minority in parliament to frustrate government policies are an affront to the country's democracy.
According to Communications Director of the NPP, John Mahama's suggestion cannot salvage the COVID-ravaged economy. He said a return to the IMF would only worsen the economic situation and leave the country in the poor state the former president left it.
To say at this stage that the e-levy is neither adequate nor viable seems rather myopic. Really, it's focused on 3 things: increasing revenue internally, cutting waste, and managing debt. These are the 3 prescriptions the IMF gives. What will happen is what happened to him. Employment will be frozen. Opportunities for investing in other areas will be curtailed.
Yao Boabena Samoa further chastised the minority in parliament for resisting the passage of the e-levy and perpetuating violence in the House to enforce their position.
We are in a situation in parliament where the numbers are extremely tight. But we believe that the most an opposition should do is to insist on putting its voice on record. And after that, allow the majority to pass its policies. Because the test of viability of those policies will come up at the next election. It doesn't lie with the opposition to insist by brute force to stop the government policy.
The NPP urged civil society groups and the media to critically analyze the potential of the e-levy, which he says would make drastic changes in public financing.
So that was initially the ACL.
We begin today with a rather shocking event that took place last night. So last night was the premiere of the much-awaited documentary from Matt Walsh over the Daily Wire, What is a Woman? And it was the most successful.
Anyway, that was first time. Now, NDC for ne kase. Yes, I'm called IMF. Never boy na. Paying forecast no IMF there. Your qua. Mobia, you know. We're not going to go to IMF. Until your twice we all know what happened. So your twice and you come by and say 11 mum. And your JJ. Na the 11 year na say no said no chi I ever to just say the car when your mother saying ka 11 be mine ye nya sa sika no ye be ne say omo kodwen ho omo nya omo ni pemfo nya kwa kodwen ti na mbo chi na omo de results in the and Ghana for bisa say dwen am kwa kodwen ho options na am kodwen ho no IMF na ka to mo join am so mo join no e ka ho ana no am so bibia account na mbo chi na ye binya but let's listen to finance minister e ka chen say obi join IMF no na you know yanya bailout bi na ye di omomra no so kakra no so e kan no na ele ba be chem
that Ghana is on course with restoring macroeconomic stability through the implementation of internal measures and policies to deal with the fundamental issues affecting the economy. He insists that governments will continue to develop homegrown solutions to deal with the difficulties because the country has what it takes to turn its ailing economy around. The government, despite harsh criticisms, has on multiple occasions stated that the most prudent measure in the face of Ghana's ailing economy is not to go back to the IMF, but rather raise revenue domestically while cutting down on government expenditure. He reiterated government's stance of not going to the IMF no matter what at the minister's press briefing in Accra.
I think if you see from the budget that we constructed for 2022 and the subsequent announcements that we have done, clearly the issue of Ghana having the capacity to think through the consolidation exercises and also discipline itself with regards to the 20-30% cuts, etc., that we have shown clearly, in a sense, the fund may be hesitant to push any further with regards to that. So clearly, with regards to sort of philosophical alignment about realizing that we needed this type of consolidation, we have done that. But we have committed, as you know, to not going back to the fund because in terms of intervention with policy, we are right there, and the fund notes that we are completely in the right direction. And so the issue is validating the program that we have put in place, and then, in my view, supporting us to find alternative ways of financing or refinancing our debt, reprofiling it without needing to be with the fund. And I think there's general acknowledgement that should be thought of as the first port of call, and we are doing it.
Speaking on the electronic transfer levy, Kedoforiata said government is optimistic monies accrued from the implementation of the e-levy will help fix the current budget deficit.
Running a budget deficit, which essentially connotes that, our revenues are below our expenditure, and that's why the intervention of the e-levy was so important. We announced the budget, I guess, November 17th or so, And it wasn't until that miracle day of March 29th that we got through Parliament with that. I'm very confident that it opens a whole new vista for our tax handles and a way in which all Ghanaians would also be paying something. I don't know of any program which has technology involved that will not have teething problems. But certainly the cataclysmic, pronouncement by people on the other side is not happening.
The thing to tell me boss man say be fine. You 11 na be okay. Nti here say be kwa IMF be won akwa akudu no be chere say na yen. Nti no the thing to tell me say IMF no yam call. Ti no ya answer me aba ma for kan wa SMP. Na ese ne ya bra opon Kojo Nkrumah. One senior journalist.
NDC will celebrate as a defeat for the NPP.
My name is Raheem Thompson, and I'm the owner and CEO of Rotate.com. Godaddy's website builder, it's extremely usable and easy to set up. I can take the deposit, I can...
Pardon me, why? Senior journalist. Elohim. Senior journalist Elohim invited communication minister. No be say go for yenya you. Asomo mo kai e abomu that say ojo ho say to bisa no Elohim bisa Kojo Nkrumah upon Nkrumah na produce
IMF. Are we going? If we go, NDC will celebrate as a defeat for the NPP.
That's a political dimension.
Yes, but are we getting ready for IMF bailout?
So let me answer in a number of ways. Don't look at just a political dimension that if you go to the IMF, the NDC will celebrate.
But they will. They've said it already.
No, I'm saying if your fiscal program is in a position where no internal measures are leading to the results you are looking for, and you have to resort to that to ensure that your fiscal program is salvaged, then don't think about the politics. Do what is necessary.
For the people, yeah.
Yes. So that's just an aside to that one. But no, we haven't reached a point where that determination can be made, because we are now going through the process of looking at the numbers. Yes, when you look at the headline numbers, the numbers don't look good, but you need to go through that full interrogation process. How is VAT performing? How is e-levy performing? How are direct taxes performing? How are import duties perform? You got to go through the full raft as against the expectations, year-on-year growth. Is it lagging? Is it on target? You got to allow yourself the room to do all of that. And then you come to a position, put alternatives on the table. Are there local alternatives to deal with it? The finance minister has said in some of his previous public comments that he believes that there are local answers to these questions. And he does not think, at least as at the time he spoke, he does not think that an external program is required to help improve the fiscal program that we are running. Has that changed based on the latest numbers? You have to give yourself room to analyze all of those ones and take a hard, cold decision, irrespective of the politics or the emotions that are associated with it.
Nti nyame yadoba ochina ebenya infoninya ntina le koba okosulo enono itina busanfo Hansen and Amos, who will take this first? And I mean, reframe me question, Mom. Now, me kase. She said, "Yadruno." Say, IMF is on the table. Doesn't mean say the reasons why we didn't go there at the first place, but resorted in doing the Momo tax. That reason, that reason I disappear. And I said, baby, I do that. Diama, yani atun to show to from my best and the offer. So we don't know. I don't know. Are we going to go back on our words, join the IMF? And I say another option. They say they might have to start increasing ABR, Momo tax, or may increase the percentage, you know. And I say taxes now, it's almost starting increasing taxes. And I say some of the new taxes, more. Now it will most because the problem is you can't answer. And I say, you know, if they are like any other good government, just make sure say corruption, you know, or mobile blocky baby. Because pot cry corruption I cost over that time was called Kusun. When we try blocky and so boy. And I say what do you say? We must say IMF in the head then Jebeko. Hansen.
Hansen we're gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah, Kwame. Mamanka Kakra. Kwame, this party, President would another MP would Kwame. Wabon. Oyanko for Wabon to them. Wabon to them on my. Kwame Wabon to them on my. Kwame team. Eleba power ne being yanko IMF the data. One phone call for. Second one, or this is incident, or this is hospital, or this is school, or I chip pump count, a pump count was a pump count, young woman can. Why a road Naza only, why project Naza only in Jabena, Ella Boboson, Nancha for Damaske for finish. Diamonds a meaning now because as a finished hospital now, a bit more finesse as for. As a finished school now, a bit more for teachers for. As a finished road now, it's been boom. Nancy old one a book man, a criminal, good and one can say criminal. And quite months of Macamas Abani Wabon. Because opportunity in the war, why Dama, if you actually one in the two or Benon. Originating and they don't more has and also I 1 2, or Benon or 12. Or Ben has no 12, no 1 2 view. Because I try 1 2 a gabu, but originating no feed a gabu. No Ben has and will no. Son has no 1 2 or 12. In this in Upper in this one financial line. So started the issue hospital in this win. Started the road in this win. Started the school in this win. Na a phone call for Guma in Chennai. But what bonancy? What is Canaan Wazy? What is Canaan Wazy? So lucky in the coffee debate. In the coffee debate, Nanchada as a 2 me because if Bialy Muska, a many Bialy Muska. As Seke Nina, Kwame, it's the Ninara. Kwame, Moya, yo, in hospital, often airport. Physically, in your airport, as a more contract. If you are Nigerian, no, but so can also grow Wagana. So one has uncle Fujin or Madame Miski, offering some Manchester Bears, Papa. Kwame, seconding now ways in Ninara. Since $1 was also would shoot to bill. $1 the shoot to bill. The citizen Rukufum. Then some Mancha won't call because was the e-levy bay at Jamqua. I mean, I'm now Yawaha, Yakasefa e-levy. Quan was the e-levy bay at Jamqua. The e-levy was solved in Bibia. E-levy wine today, a wakan a duty, or me if you do nothing. Or say a babyara. He live in say a baby. A bit also he live by your road. Oh, be a hospital. He live in by your school. Akubam. Kwame, a piece a Pia finance minister, a piece also he live in or by a PPR. A piece upon coming away why an answer. A piece and a pair. Oh, no, Akafaba, oh, by a PPR. Kwame, he live no but away in season was a skip behind me. Into happening. That man Benny.
60 million.
That man Benny, or incompetent. Kwame, that man Benny Wapan, or ya Bana Wapan Queen. Did the baby or ye Nara, he live you in Kisa Aga. Sister, what you know was Boko so won't cool. Sister, because walk up.
No me.
Kwame walk up here by a man home by children because by a campaign tia a indisciple. Internet, Dama, a Pola too much old bisa, a put upon command, and would end this for Barcelona.
I'm up for cafe. Oh, yeah, by so I have mamma when you corner opposition and become too much. Oh, 2 for the tea. But I said, or say, will say, I do okay, so when you're now on you. Sababwa, I'm out for no quandia, just me on in I.
Now, Kwame, say, and this is correct, and this is a fuzzy young court, Dama IMF. Now, we MP finance with one. What can end is if you incompetent when you more was the guy naked our or then our inimizin as the guy no call, never can I was as a corner, Papa Chan Mendes is a cray. MP before as a way yang, MP before as a way when you slogan, as when you yang, Mendes see on ye, but one uber baby or a papa. Best over by an was sent a poto. Kwame, Miss video be a son on Dama, his school more from his banner was a man. She school from my is Bana was a man. Samama Boko Dam school in Jamisu Ghana president. Samaboko school wa in Jamisu Ghana president. That means been in Cramon Pool on Farm 1. In Cramon Pool for that means Banama 1. Kwame Ghana yell, what my Ghana is William. What's it so sickening now with the Okugu baby? The finance minister, pay a good bank sitting in Ara, one could to bank no ye juma. One could to bank, see keep a Ghana Quaco was be off for bank and Sana will do Ghana commercial bank. There's a Ghana you would do.
Now, I was a young fellow to check a coming bizarre question, but I say, all and yet end this for some na account. One and out. To see a bind up corner of Banos, you know what? My dream was the only way I did not ever fat. Am I a water and say, as some could join the IMF? Now, it's a share of the Disunga Kankaka, a baba to the dema. What are you going to say?
Mama kind of one. Because I can't live at Jonkwa Bejian. A bit TPB was he live at Jonkwa or Bejian won't quite IMF Biara, and I'm Yasam working. No Benden and they're able to one and our IMF. I bazin you who's from call.
Okay.
I mean, I been wow, one. I mean, we video say, I'm bar. You boy on the
member.
And so that means
we don't allow they come once and then I was in a member. I think crabbing yes, everyone. Ghana there.
Kwame or Ghana, it's a background or Ghana. Kwame emutu na nkatankwan. Kwame emutu na nkatankwan. Jesus Christ. Mr. Damis be azima ngwadom wa bocha wunzi.
Oh.
Kwame. Mr. Samaba kan want to miss Ghana government today. Why?
All right, quick. But your best opinion, Kaka.
Okay. Michio
Be a Joseph. Who bet to answer camera? No, now was Mamu, you want to know. Camera.
Okay, I'm not home, so. Maybe I'm only thinking about solutions now. Hey, yeah, problem, no. And yet, MPP ni NDC problem. I mean,
lack of leadership. I mean, both because from time immemorial, we go through this IMF in and out. Every government, whether NPP or NDC. I mean, and the biggest problem we have is you need discipline. Because basically, you call IMF, the only thing they give us is discipline. I mean, they force us to be disciplined in how we spend.
Basically, yep.
Yeah, basically, that's basically what we do there. So, I mean, in the future, basically, what they say to me, and they say, we have to give Parliament more control over how much the executive can spend. Like, Obama and Republicans had every time be of course increase debt that type of power here to lessen the power of the executives to just be taking out loans and spending in our name without investing it in places here. Because basically every time there's going to be an election, we spend a lot not in infrastructure or any capital investment, just for spending in consumables. And also any investment, you don't invest in your stomach.
Yeah,
so or the election, you the toll rise and now the more be not or the quota petition, and that's not an investment, and a waste of money.
That's true.
So so basically we say would invest in something that will give you returns later on. It will never affect you because say obi background now so be down kana obi timi aton sa de na odi ko investment you find so ko investment na odi see dan ya nipa no ba no be obi down kakra at least o dan na wait me aton de amana investment na we odi koto dia na odi koto because we don't use our investments and now they could see factory beer. I mean, but if you don't invest the money, what happens is that in a few years time you need money from somewhere else to pay back the lender. And then we just go in those cycles. Another part of the indiscipline is you start a project, cry capital investment, we don't complete it. The change of government, that project na say sikano. Another one of the lack of discipline, judgment debt. Government we start a project na or contracting where na you jai project now we have a project now we have a cancel project and so still I bet you can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you bet you can even pay plus penalties. Another stupid thing we do. I mean, so at the end of the day, everything leads back to discipline. Another part of the indiscipline here, government workers. A Juma nipa ba ko betimi ayo be ko ministries na nipa be say 5 na ye. Only na say otu omoka.
When say anytime I call IMF bia no, you call omama government stop is or high go for.
Yeah, those are the basic things we should be doing. So I mean, and then the other one, the crowd said, in the times I be invested, we don't invest it in the correct places because say your country and the first place you invest to build roads are the places which leads to where the biggest farms are.
Cocoa roads,
where the farms are, where your food comes from, is where you should be investing. You should be building the roads so that when you have a harvest season, you can bring the food to the urban centers or send them to the factories for them to be processed for the lean period. Now, because a great minister complained, we have food in the farms, but it's expensive in Accra. I mean, if you don't have good roads, who is going to cut the food to Accra?
And that thing is true because the ball of cane can almost say 5 cities to Accra. Oko Sunyana and Abrikume 5 cities. It's about 1 city and 2 cities. And agric minister all those amount for engineering this but that part is true. Quite in
yeah, and I said, car no coca or so in pro and half pro. So Obedobono because it's all technical.
Oh yeah. I mean, Democrats say we from her because they don't even get any car crash or whatever.
Yeah, so you see, quite cry. We don't even prioritize. We don't have the discipline to build it to the places which need to be built first. the here and they say binya vote. Inti you basically cry na ko be binya vote.
We want to do spectacular projects. Like
yeah, but
some overhead road. Now your friends say interchange. Yeah. Right in the middle of our cars.
Because even spectacular roads, you go see our home. So we see roads now started so sika. Fast one ever back on base media see spectacular roads. So yeah here answer the fata. You so invested now in fast one back one no they go see spectacular be out and for be a so was can to me the opposite be. But before I started so yet spectacular projects factories one is an and one is so focus so now yet me build the industry so build the industry taxes now by GFM hon obviously media cost is overheads near cathedral is an it's just as simple as that. Just be disciplined for a while and just be able to use the money wisely, because and you say you get a bias and you say you can bat is there if you can focus and use it to invest in things that will give you returns, you can use the returns to do whatever stupid thing you want to do. But but the first thing is you have to invest in sensible things. And so we don't have the discipline to the parents say, oh, the my vote. And he said, Kwano Cry doesn't lead anywhere, but it leads to somewhere that will give us votes. Hey, Yensi Kwano Koho. I mean, no.
If you look at it, most of the union are free. Middle voter, Eastern region, Western region, and the 2.5 regions, the 3 northern regions. It gets up final more on the free back towards the south.
Seriously, some person roads in Sweden you real cohort. I mean, basically, you have options. You either do rail or you do what do you call it, roads there. But you need transportation to those areas. But yeah, Jimmy, you can see whole airport, nipa in the obi so buy also see Cape Coast Airport. I mean, yeah, they here say the factor. I mean,
because it doesn't make sense. Airport or Takra, which is like 2 hours drive from Cape Coast.
Sure.
Why build another airport?
I don't even understand.
I was in there and I dream of but still. But no, anyway,
because, I mean, if you can, you need to carry see airport over every city. But in the first place, we have to start creating money before you can go and be building airports everywhere. Yes, you can now go to Bentley. I send the phobia home. Now at the end of the day, so when you see Kenyan, so what started so to Bentley, you see airport over be I mean, oh yeah, the here answer the fata and you say you embassy you see airport to a year, Cape Coast and I say a ho and I say you. But I was say a OC factories no yesika in fast one now basis our airport, you know.
True,
and yet a Sikana basic factory now basic airport there be Sikana basic factory no in fast one now basic airport, you know. The here answer the fata.
Cape Coast Airport in the and the Ghana government Monya Papa and Cape Coast. That makes sense. But anyway, it's correct because to say no, we say we say 80% of the revenue we generate, both within and without, 80% of them is just used to pay people. Yeah. I will apply for passport ID couple of months and send a banner. A bride. For my employer, it should take you about 2 days.
I mean, it's sad because you think with this digital it will reduce the number of people working there, because basically that normally happens when you automate. The number of people working in the office will decrease because in Yemen can send for processing, you just use a computer to do it. So actually, in a real, if the system was designed properly, the number of people working in the ministry should be reducing every time you introduce IT into the system, because a middleman is I mean, you just stay at your home, you apply for whatever, say driver's license with a passport, you apply for it, and then they post it back to you. I mean, so it reduces the number of secretaries you have to go and bribe, the number of doormen you have to bribe when you go to the ministries or
ministries.
But we just priorities even when we are implementing it, we don't even implement IT the right way. So it's like, and it's sad because you can't continue continue doing this forever and expecting a positive result, or else because we may end up like Sri Lanka or one of those very badly run countries, because do sometimes nobody want to give us a loan or anything.
It has already started. It started already. That's why the E-levy came, because nobody wanted to give us any money, because the amount of money that we've borrowed right now, we are struggling to even pay. And we are not talking about paying the principal, just the interest. We are struggling. So no lender in the right mind, I'll pay the seeker back, will give you the money. But I think at this point, I mean, they are coming out with a solution. And I guess my question is, will you be happy if they come back and say, you know what, we thought the E-levy was going to help. It is not. I mean, the projection was that by now, every month, we are seeing Kenya around 600 million Ghana cedis. As of Enro Muchakia, we were less than 60 million. So we are not going to hit the target. You know what? I think it's best we go to IMF. Will you be mad? So I'm not wasting your time, because we told them right in the beginning, so IMF.
No, why should you be mad at them? I mean, there are some people who are they have to put their hands in the fire to burn them before they learn their lesson. So I mean, the point is that we need the discipline. I mean, so if the IMF is what's going to help us with the discipline, then you might as well just do it. The part that annoys me is that we have not still accepted that we are indisciplined in leadership. Because if you don't accept it and you go to you are in denial and you go to IMF and then you get out of IMF, you come and do the same mistake again, and then another 5 years.
That's what we did. We just went to IMF in 2015.
Yeah,
and then look at our numbers from 2015 to 2019. It was splendid. We were just heading to the top. As soon as we ended with IMF, then we went on a borrowing spree, straight back to square one, even worse than square one.
Yeah, and then so when you act like that, throw a Jimmy for, because I mean you can't keep on making the same mistake and then I mean expecting a different result. I mean it's like the most stupid thing you can be doing to yourself. So
I mean, that's how you know you're crazy. If you're doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah. So if it will dawn on all the country that we have to start being more disciplined in our leadership, stop wasting money on buying V8s and then leaving the car running, stop hiring too many people into the ministries, and stop. I mean, actually, we need more people in the police, but not in the ministries. I mean, stop.
Not Obi Kase, like, and now this is the new phenomenon in Ghana. Anytime there's a problem that the government is responsible, they have to come back and circulate to the people. Say, no, it's the people that are indisciplined. But like you just said, if you are hiring people, instead of hiring more people to go and sit in the president's residence doing nothing and spending over $1 billion, 1 billion cedis on them every year, why don't you spend that money on railway policing? Because according to Charles, almost building railways now, not professor, no much chat that there.
Then you come to
so instead of spending money on from the presidential, and now there are about 1,000 of them, 1,000 plus of them, sitting in the presidency, working, doing absolutely nothing, just terrorizing people on social media. Why don't you spend that money on the police force or on a joint force? Hire more people into the police to be patrolling the rails. So no be anti-chat. That's your answer.
Because not money programs we could have been using them. We could have been using the kids to rather build irrigation equipment, because your farming 2022, we still rely on weather. If the weather is not good this year, we are in trouble. But we have the Volta River, and we've not built any irrigation. I mean, what do you call it? So irrigation flows, I say gutters, big gutters, so that the farmers can use. So we don't depend on this year it rained, next year it wouldn't rain. That kind of nonsense, 2022, we can.
Sustainable. That's a topic we have to treat one day. Sustainable agriculture, and luckily for us, the Volta Lakes, it divides Ghana into two. It starts from the bottom, it gets past the middle, and then it divides into the black and white Volta, and go all the way to the top. It's Ghana. Then can you say it's a problem?
If you want to subsidize farmers for a long term, and our infrastructure projects, farmers now, you don't even need to give them fertilizer or anything. That alone will help them, because then you've done is you've created water source for them. So anytime they are farming, they can get water easily to water their plants. So they don't need more fertilizer, because most of the time the reason why we use a lot of fertilizer is because we don't have enough rain water watering the plants. I mean, it will make farming more conducive and convenient for everyone, because if like Israel, for example, they can feed almost the whole Middle East because they built very good irrigation system, even though they're almost like a desert country. We have the Volta River, and we don't want to irrigate it so that we can get we don't need this dry season and wet season nonsense where this season there's this work and the next season there's. I mean,
I don't cry. Ancient Egypt crowd who said that wasn't reliable.
Yeah, but
and that was about 5,000 years ago.
Instead of you push those type of things, we always invest in things which are flashy, but we don't help us in the long term. It's always short term thinking, like a vote and there. I mean, vote and there, and I mean, we don't invest in long term things. I mean, so then we start.
Let's answer stepping now. You move on to the next topic. Hansen. Hansen, what that? Right. So, like Kuku was saying, I think
as a Hansen or other.
Now, actually, I'm not best opinion on the IMF. I think you spoke first, right?
Yeah. I know when I'm ready or the Cape Coast Airport. Kwame, me ya agenda ma no kana by because of voting na aba basha wobo. My yenso why na kono the Everett Airport for Cape Coast, because you Cape Coast tourism ta akọ hopa nti wo fi Accra na woko maybe am we more register hade if you akọ Buffalo airport wo nti I am bad a driver be only be 30 minutes to 45 minutes nti I am bad nti obe wo Cape Coast was that man, but abroad e be yenti wala wotam no twu from na so education be there ibi na zero twu from wa kasa ba wotam no twu from nti Kwame si say mo baby nyanka say I fed up Kwame
but I think we should go to the IMF because the other options, and they say they are thinking of either increasing margin of the taxes that we already have. Taxes, either increasing and as bringing new taxes into it. At the moment, e-levy come there, but here brought bread. So, and people don't want to even pay the e-levy. Yeah, taxes now be increasing, because the calendar that's what the problem is. It's the first number one. I was saying more cut and a small country like UK, maybe Hakrano, secretaries saying that 10. But Ghana, your ministries almost about 20 ministries.
Job for the boys, though. Job for the boys. As an
engineer, Ministry for Roads and Transport, Ministry for Transportation, roads, yes, our ministry for roads, yes, our ministry for railways, yes, our ministries for
Transport.
water, debe. Like, transportation. Transportation is transportation. Your ministry for information and your ministry for communication.
Kwame Odosun. Your class of Odos, Papa, by 9. One ministry,
ministry for
109.
entertainment and we like what do you want? You know, Nyansa Biani, and I ask 20 ministers, and also be our the deputy ministers, be too, and some almost special assistants. We spend all the money on administration. Meanwhile, we are not administrating anything. So, and I say, a quadruple crana, a month for Canada, a month for Canada, Baba Bicha. Into the minimum, I think the best thing for them to do. I know some are wasting their time. They should have done this before the E-levy. The best thing for them to do is to just go to IMF.
Kwame Onkone, Akufa don't get pregnant. Oh boy.
Uncle IMF now, like at least IMF will force them to be disciplined. So
right.
Nah, you know, from there, like Kweku can say every government, every party in Ghana should know, say, Charlie, the way forward is to be disciplined. I mean, unnecessary overlapping ministries. We should just stop that. Nah, you know, young queen. Anyway, after 2 years, they will be going on an election. I'm not for Bekaso, Ghana, they're politics. I don't want to be part of politics. But to rule a country, politics that you use. We have to discuss politics. And yes, now, to see how country number from 2024 onwards, we have to see the players that are involved. At the moment, Bawumia, although he hasn't actually announced, I want to say that is a person obey candidate. Alan Chairman tends to say that is obey candidate. I know just separate and I'm Mahama, so I think say that is also obey candidate. And I come not before. Or no, being on kind, about another room or something. I'm also super set for a candidate. And your Kennedy Japan. I start to say or Koto say on also super set or a candidate. Now Okata all the conversation has been on him trying to be a candidate. Now how you're discussing on action. And I want to know, what do you think? Kennedy Japan or fame not obey a president? Do you think say I'm out for say he's got temperament, and over boy and yes and yes, no and no. You know, obey a president, at least at this point in time, we need a person like that to straighten up things. What do you want to say?
Yo, Kwame Madasi. If you're about Kennedy, yes, yes. No, you know, no, Pokon Opwa. And Pokon or your Kushin. And Pokolin Opera or Data Ghana Fubio. And Pokolin or the Kennedy Notion. And Pokolin the Kennedy no in Abba Bruchir. And Pokolin the Kennedy note is Banaman Mosi. And Tomo on think twice, Kwame. Se Kennedy, yes, and yes, sir. Mama Nazebian. And Nzeme be Kwame Mobobodo. Bo proving chair and then yes, and yes. One, Ossi, damparing him. If you okun, MP offended, MP no win. Damparing him who be. Damparing by ye opinion, ne Kennedy or Takapa. But damparing by ye opinion, Kennedy we get Ama Sabraka. On Tum Kebio, a crane, Meyano. No one still no bude. Damparing Mubos in Rebeyano. Two. Kennedy catch or catch in there, Mahama Union, or any book court. Where's the Ghana's car? Kennedy Mayano. Kennedy not recently yala was Mr. Sinobote or Kanama Mewu. Or yes, Kazaman on Fanka Manager or Abruchunombra, Ghana, or any ex-wife. Kennedy in Kanokwa. Kennedy or one Yenny Bin on Kanokwa. In the dam of a payment, I'm a president. So I can move forward to Pa, Kwame, in Jamaica, president. Because now ban not to do. Now ban no woman. Oh, BB, and Johnny was asking for so. So BB and John starts asking for Sonia, asking for Sue Road. It was the MP so many years. Okay, Captain and the Buefu. And to be new come Iska that won't fancy hospital one crap. Kwame, Kennedy. So Nimiansa said you obey the president. Why do Abruchi or Baby no president Abruchi? Or yellow about Abruchi?
Oh, I don't know about Abruchi, they don't do a president.
Kwame say, Miss Onyadam, say Kennedy or Jinuza, and no president joining or Ghana. Kennedy catch and never number Miss Afno or Hadin, one thing or more the Ghana knew. I won't go Abruchi. Nature cheeky man. Etu cheeky as a man. That woman way perpetuating. That mean pay a present. Asha Abazan a bay. Kennedy no television knows it been for indication or do within some short time Pokuno we. I said, be a local watch or crack Kennedy Wakana. Assembly Albuco will be our cracking the Wakana. Kennedy to Michelle or Mampina over there, Nan Sunsu was the Mercuman American Olugu. Kennedy no lawyers are horrible. Kwame, Kennedy shall usher come rubber, usher lawyers are horrible. Nasogani Bian Bonachamado. In a certain president, no, a catching a Nan Sunsu was a Mercuman Olugu. Nan youty, Yakasa was using any desertum. And yet, Kennedy also overshoot Muhammad Ifia. Opaka sent penny with canon. Yet, Kennedy, Nancy, Papa, we are, was assassin, or so assassin bundle, honors and so on, so or you will galley into me and Tranana. In honor, no, okay. Kwame, on to Maison Mampain or Ghana. They said, beginning you got Buchina, said you young dream to will break a cran, or then she can as a summon papan. Into me and can as a summon, yes, to finish the dada papan. Because on your barbuchi, because on an show. Catch and bring the papa into me the president, baby Adrian Oye, Fandamara. By now, the prison pa into Anyashi. By Fandama. Coming true, you can no wife Kaji, offended, Wakan Latricity for Obati Chankani, Oka Kenya, also known for contract and was and you're not Kenya. You can a TV doesn't support Ponodo into being the prison. Mr. Kennedy was an nature, and I glad or Kragada and the kitchen there, or main you. Security, yes, than Agrada or the prison. Kwame, Kennedy Mama on Fanhomba. Maybe no party no butum, waging them no way to wait or to be win a party now, or begging a public no, because Kwame Bialinte. A beautiful boss son or do.
Usually is a obituary candidates, you know.
The candidate no, or better step by Umiano Alan Cash. Yes, because na party and Kofi Guinness were na party. Yes, he's a very beautiful man. He's a very fantastic businessman. Kwame Kennedy, a very fantastic. Into you think he Kennedy Nasam. But you ne Kennedy, son or your uncle Quanans. None of a kind, or yanny, 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 a kind. anas ni video yo ba out yo so na nankse nye ne de onya na isuom de omma makasa na no ba ka onye nye ne yake na no ba ka ta ba ne unde sa na kene don kana kwa oil damage control kwa me nye ne yake ya
Demi.
na no ba ka nti se malaka wonin samun unti sedo nta mo nto aba man but oye very fantastic man oye businessman me penasam but unto mezi o man Ghana unzi nankasa no do ma amen.
Amen. Now the other one say he come not before or standard.
Correct
Me, I
before
think that it's a bit
correct
too
before no Mahama. Mahama was very long distance. So Mahama so walk 100 meters. Nasa Mahama almost correct before 50 mpado under. So Mahama over butcher.
Yeah, but let's just assume say. Let's assume say. Conrad Dufour is president of Ghana. Would you prefer not to any other person? Because me personally, I think say right now.
Yes, I'll make out my man comes. So compared to
in the mid-70s. No,
I'm rubber.
By the time I do 2024, no, you're the 80 cry.
Yes.
So
no so unkokro junior no about bonitim no about that about after about life. Was I a businessman? Compared before a businessman, fantastic.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Onyimaze a fantastic man. But no kukra yemni yempe a wakanan akokra abofrabos as wakan muyef. So enya akokra na ewa wozimbe was from.
Pension baby.
Yeah, yempe pension baby wo Ghana. Yempe obaba hair flight or did them there. Oh no, any dream baby. On train baby na youth no pada boy and one bra. Why your father on to from no on my youth and ideas. That's it. Bao miezi why you Alan Cash say why you.
Oh, no, Alan Cash are you?
Oh, Alan Cash, baby, Alan Cash, no way bunofo. Malemu Chrome, Commander Sugar Factory. Alan Cash was now far. She's also called here, as she wrote a for our brain. Last of the parliament will be some question on a new buffui or sort of crack. Yes, and I'm sure we'll be some Commander Sugar Factory and so to papa do. Says in there, it be a factory, Kwame, it be a factory, so necessary when you are actually. Na abane factory so abas no yenya ahwe no de dua.
Simple.
Ashama factory nyina wa don saman. Afi na aka fasika foforo edition. Ansa na factory no we general nando. Wi asanse bodu ya ahwe. Kwame nta mesi na MPP wa aboni yo. EPS de na esi wo wa tompa.
Okay, wo de na asem ehu chese obi ofri MPP je
Kwame wa tompa wa to egwa we painting nkane bibia wo fa bese na bedem na nyinsanan boy
anyway okay na mama so no my baby dane so nya de ne asake ndare na ese sande ne baby
okay sisia mahama abaye second Jesus wa Ghana abazintra macadam yes abazintra macadam because of
last time we said that it didn't end well.
Yes, remember Mahama by second Jesus because abazinta macadam. Yes, Mahama nansa ne juma or wa Kwame Ezeakufo Addo na Benet to 2 Kwame 1% Akufo Addo no wondu half mpo Kwame am na we beka nokwa won dem minim Ghana si yeyi Mahama ne juma nyina edi sinchere yema 1% na Akufo Addo so 1% conference ma Akufo Addo ndu half mpo Mahama na yi nso Mahama by second Jesus Mahama bat wono mfumo Mahama ho papa but see yenyi choice
ma you bas brand no
bas branding bi anye hwe Kwame oye ni na ye propaganda nkotin Kwame bas branding bas no anfa mba bas yen was abem ogugu ya ayeyero bas sazi ogugu ya branding na Kwame okay so bas ne be Kwame de bi amaka de eyufu ebien Kwame Chusukor, a Euphrabian, a club of fear, and we go your television. No watch Ozoko. A club of fear, where we would them win the fridge, television, BBR, will rip away in our back on. Even Chusukor ends an epic. Kwame, Mr. Chusukor, a real bubble your television on watch. And a real bubble rip away in our back. No way we are on Chusukor ends an epic. Yes, a television because the television watch your Bahama. I could find the will why and a passa. We'll rip your account. Yeah, can. Me pena Kwame in vote in Brahma Brewa Kufado once and all about. They be a mechanic had it in electric reaching because of our Kufa don't see. Navy we are in Porto. We are in All
right. Hansen. He Hansen, what done? Okay, Hansen cannot be found. Kweku, you have anything to say about this one?
Yeah. But they all annoy me though. I mean,
yeah, I think one time feel two old men and and who else? And
two stupid dogs.
I mean, you see, the problem we have here is Bawumia, for example, he says all the nice things, but he's always lying. He doesn't implement any or doesn't implement the problem. And even if he comes to power, he doesn't have control of his party. He has.
That's true.
So if the party members start chopping money left and right, he can't even control them because he's afraid of them. So Bawumia, if he comes, you just be, what do you call it, a figurehead for his party to do whatever the party wants to do because he's not strong enough, even in his own party.
Right.
Alan, I doubt his competence. I mean, and his follow through. I doubt his competence and follow through. See, he'll be of this Kagame. Some people call him a dictator, but he has competence and he has follow through. He has the will to get things done because you need someone with the will to get things done. You have too many idiots in the country running around. So that's my problem with Alan. Actually, so out of the three, I actually prefer Kennedy. Out of Alan and Bawumia, because at least Kennedy, what I liked about him is sometimes he can criticize his own party.
Right. He has that tendency.
Which is the positive. Yeah, that means you are a bit introspective. Utmi can say, oh, at least that means that he can at least hold some of his people accountable. If you can't even criticize your own people, like how Akufo-Addo can't even get rid of reshuffle his government or even get rid of one person who has done something corrupt. That part, I think even Mahama did better than Akufo-Addo because at least some of his own people, he could prosecute them. I mean, but if you can criticize your own, you can reflect on your own failings and try to improve on yourself, then what the hell are you doing? Then even if you're leading yourself to the grave, you just go straight because nobody is criticizing anybody. You are not introspective. That's what I like about Kennedy. At least there's a bit of introspection in there. And he has the force and the will. I mean, he's not the most perfect person. He can be an asshole most of the time. But everybody's an asshole sometimes.
Yeah. But me, I think my problem with him is his emotional intelligence.
You won't get a perfect. I mean, we're dealing with very flawed characters here.
Yeah,
because both parties are giving us very bad candidates.
For a multi-tribal, multi-ethnic country like Ghana, we've not really gotten over our tribalism very well. So you need somebody that can control his or her emotions and can be very diplomatic. That is very important. Because when you'll be out Casa by Hatta, look at this thing that happened with is it Aflao chief now in school? Assembly. Nah, like see baby in school and another so upon uncle, you know, say if it happened in any other country without ethnic undertones, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yep.
But when it happened in Ghana, we had to read so much into it. It's when you'll be ultimately balance diplomacy is very important as a president in
Kwame, you know why diplomacy is important in Ghana? A comedy internet diplomacy. So what may this tribal things reduces? I mean, if the economy is doing well and Obia Maya, you don't care about this useless nonsense.
Right.
I mean, a comedy internet, yes, and it makes you angry, and then the smallest chance of being a and you're fighting for your tribe to get something. It's the team thing, like it's a tribal thing every human being has.
Yeah, you become a fanatic.
Yeah, but if you satisfy your Maslow's hierarchy, you satisfy the basic things, those things fall by the wayside. So, I mean, if our economy is doing very well, nobody really cares about a lot of things. I mean, what you feel should movie be our game.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
So, I mean, the problem is if you'll be able to improve economy, just that. If you improve the economy, most of our social problems, more people get educated, most of the social problems will go away. I mean, America for is the economy stupid, because if you can get the economy running, you have money. Even if you go and insult somebody, you have money to pay the person off.
Yeah.
What's
the economy it's going to take a couple of presidential terms to fix it.
But all you need is
whilst we're swimming in this dirty river, we're going to need diplomacy a lot.
You see, but the point is, which one comes first? Because you can be doing diplomacy and not solving the problem, and you just be extending the problem for a long time. Right now, to me, I think we need somebody in the Kagame type. I mean, there's discipline and there's forcefulness, but there's also competence. I mean, because I mean, you see, Mahama is diplomatic. But we don't need only diplomacy. We need somebody who is forceful and somebody who can hire. Even if you are not competent, you should be able to hire the more competent people.
Yes, and Ghana for a hybrid of Kwame Nkrumah and Rawlings.
Yeah, somebody with the, I mean, somebody with the brains, but also with the push.
Yeah, with the competence of Nkrumah and the tenacity of Rawlings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
to me, the nearest one is Ken. Actually, if you ask me, I mean, which is sad.
Now,
this the choices will be reduced to.
No, we said, what about the independence candidates?
I would have preferred one, but you see, there's also another problem with our constitution. Like, say, if we weren't doing second round, then what would have happened is that you have three parties. You have the two main parties, but none of them will get the 50%. And then you have a small party third who has the rest of balance Nakano. And they'll become kingmakers.
Is that of France now?
Yeah, they will become kingmakers. Those small parties become very strong because they become kingmakers. And then, so those people, the youth could have had some people like that to field who become kingmakers, who can force the two parties to do what is right. Instead of having this.
I think in Europe, we break even, Sana. The third party will form a government with one of them.
Yeah, so any kingmakers, they will become, because any of the parties they join becomes the dominant party. And another advantage even of doing that is that we wouldn't need extra money to hold two elections. Because normally we go and borrow money to do the second election, the second round of the election.
Borrow money.
Yeah, so it will reduce our cost, and it also give us stronger parliament, and then it will give us a three-party system. If we can change the constitution to just do one round of elections.
So just out of curiosity, who was your other candidate? What
for when?
Third party,
Third party.
You have somebody in mind. Who do you think, sir?
I don't have anyone in mind, actually. I really don't have any. I don't have anyone. Can you give me options? I can't think of anything in my head.
Oh, say a gumo. This guy from Virginia.
You're suffering to even remember.
True. Because
that's the problem.
Two parties that have changed.
Yeah, they've dominated
to a monocracy.
Kofi Cranton and banana.
Kofi Cranton.
Kofi Cranton has sweet words, but my fear is that he may not have the drive, tenacity, because Oba Ghana, within your party, they want to some umbedity. A command their match. So if you are not strong enough to tell them that they be Ghana and yes, if you are not strong enough to hold your people in check, they'll run rampant around you. And then you become like Akufo-Addo 2.0.
I mean, if you have a cabinet like Nkrumah's cabinet, no, me is a 5 penna. I mean, you can check them. You know, Rollins' own guys are doing the PNDC time. His secretaries, the ministers, do 15. So you could check. You're to look at bomb as soon as.
Yeah, Rollins or driving so imagination in here.
Yeah, but if you have ministers, say more ministers over 200 ministers here, how are you going to check them? You know?
No, you can't. I mean, most of them are also your friends.
So. I think, and that was the Goom crowd when Odikiana.
Yeah, Goom knows it third last election.
Goom, yeah, Odiki.
They Goom, yeah, for the Chabosum.
For real?
Yeah. Chabosum knows it third.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Gumia, Prophet Chabosum. And evangelist.
I don't know. Chabosum, yeah.
I mean, this guy was in the race until recently, right? Friends, a banker.
Mo Masanana.
No,
Indum.
Yeah, Indum. Yeah, Indum, yeah, one of Canada. So, John and the city and Chagan for Botswana. But, Yankasa, I kind of rata, we're going to Masi. Some way, your papa, serious.
Personal beef with
Nani Yanko double power.
Anyway,
okay,
like any other business, no. I think our time is fast paced, you know. I think for the past 20 years, my favorite minister is the Accra Regional Minister now. Because president, people with the Rollins and the Nkrumah traits, you know. I think nobody exhibits it better than this guy. And case in point, what happened at the Great for more your first CRIS, the CSIR,
Council for Scientific Industrial Research.
And the background is they had back in the day they had bought about 1,000+ acres of land for research for animal research. And now for encroachia, my encroachia, manakabe 200 acres. So they went to the bank after complaining to government over government. And no matter 200 acres. And people have the audacity. So I've gone into it. And we create a seawall afa or more veterinary clinic. And so the most able minister, minimum there, he's my favorite minister for a very long time. Esther P in. And also, you know what? This ain't gonna happen. And he just only used 48 hours to solve that problem. So still a problem no go so solve it, but there was at least 200 media was secure. But, you know, just a short video and then we discuss that quickly and call it a night.
I'm video one good scenario.
Now that's it.
Miss one good scenario show.
Oh, my bad.
For somebody to have erected a fence wall by his property be it government or not. It is a private place, but sometimes they say no trespassing. And the lawyers are here. So all we have done as a regional security council, who is mandated to ensure the peace, stability of the citizenry in our region, is to go in and do what is right. And so we've gone in there, and I can say on authority that no building within the 200-acre perimeter has got permits. As far as I know, the last minister is here. They haven't regularized anybody's document for them. So on what gravitas do you move onto somebody's land and start building? Now, warnings and notices have been issued to them on several occasions, started from 2021, and before then. Before this particular exercise took place, they had notice sometime in 2021. It was renewed again in December 2021. And even this year, notices were sent to them. But you know what they kept saying? Oh, where they at here? Where they at here? And come here. How do we get a country like Ghana to look there at Dubai that you and I have been going to every day? I keep saying it. When you're on leave, you buy tickets. You say, go to Dubai. What do you do? When you get there, you take pictures of green grass, escalator, and a country that is neat. They don't drop refuse on the floor. They don't dump refuse in the gutters. There is discipline. There is no container shops in front of the houses that you can go into in Dubai. And they say Rwanda. Everybody is mentioning Rwanda. When they started, they were actually equipping people with canes. We have gone past that. We are practicing democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to help ourselves for our country to be like what we see in other countries and how we want it to be. It is our responsibility. It's a collective effort. And I dare say that, especially the media, mostly when they engage the victims, they air the parts that communicates sympathy and forgets to educate the people. Mostly what you hear is Indian Kohi. Oh, yeah, to Abanidium. Yeah, to Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that one day the police headquarters, IGP will wake up in the morning and people will put containers in front of the place when we need a vehicle. Is that right?
Charlie, I think this was the guy we were talking about when we were talking about when he beat the president.
Yeah. I mean, this papa, me penasampa or Wakukudu or started last 2 years or so. Or started all year, man, and one casa MPP Finanka was started what bringing down. No go makakra. Ne this was also start view. Me pene Akukudu the Juma. Say original president Kwame. So original yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, original me away.
Your friend is saying Liberia Bujumbura
come. Yep.
Same guy.
Kwame said I'm on pay. So Onanko original Quantum crowd or to know if MPP. No we be now Kwame. Mefi aha ma kwa campaign amon. Carpenter mobile election boy. Kwame no question my catch on. Much that ma say Miss Kenyam da Ghana. Na ma campaign amon only for MPP. Lankasa what no parties ya. Kwame mokwa kaya campaign. Na mazaman was Central Region for free. On chem pinimpo. O wa kukudu. I was a yazi. Benin, you know what the Benin. Benin, you know kita nkrumana na adwene ne bi. Principle, you know kita. Seti, o se enko Dubai na nke gina gringas na entwom fanyin. Na mfa match Ghana for that Dubai. Dubai abaze no discipline no. Pokigame no come discipline no. But Ghana says the discipline I want to about more. In the age young, the Malanga Salakana. And the Papa Morianism for no dopa, the most beer over MPP Benima, or minister as a pine dama papa.
For the past 20 years, me who minister be our papa Chiako.
Man can that out. You know, yards, papa. But he also know MPP for open is in a bun, or she smiles and open is in a bun. But Penaku could do no, did you know, or Casampo, shall also make Mona, yes, papa, you know, what fun a father.
And you know what I like about this? He always used a simple solution.
Simple.
As asking any idea, we don't know the it you know my free name free. Simple. Hey, yeah, fina. Put a human face in Bibia. No human face.
Oh, I know Casa. Oh, Papa, you want to make do and say, Papa, you know if you oh, we win. On your cuckoo. Maybe it is ban. Maybe it is my road.
Ma Lord in you, running you,
Mamben on ye minister road no mache biena as in the tekogum as I had a panas and a caraka come. Nay, as ye two no, as ye two no, as ye two no, then young buggering himself.
What do you think? Me, this is my favorite guy. When we're talking about president, I think this guy has all the qualities.
Only most competent out of all of them, anyway. I mean, but I want to take it from a different angle, actually. I mean, maybe problem they say all the people we pay for the some a town
municipal assemblies.
Municipal assemblies. I mean, and you stop work produce permit. If before the people finish building the houses, you break them down. We need to wait till the houses are finished being built before you have to break them down.
Yeah.
We pay all those people.
It's well documented that they've been complaining for the past 15 years.
Yeah, we pay all those people to do their work. So you have to sack them. You have to start firing those people because they say they go and make sure that nobody builds in the wrong places so that the place don't get flooded, so that Ghana doesn't get flooded, so that we have plans in the country. If you have people who are supposed to pretend those things and are not doing their jobs, you fire them or you change their salaries to performance based, so that if you see that they are not doing their job, their salaries are halved or something. They are paid based on how effective they do their jobs.
So you have KPIs, right?
Yeah, how effective you do your job, because what you say, I don't know, every month be what you say, you have to prevent people from building in the wrong places and make sure people have permits to build before they build. And you are not doing your job, and what do you call it? A regional minister will have to leave his office to come and break down a building because you all couldn't do your job and you allowed all this nonsense to happen. It's not like they didn't do their job, they just took bribes. But they say we don't have evidence they took bribe. Even if you didn't take a bribe, why on your watch did you allow this house to be built?
Right. So what do you mean there? You'd have thought say this shouldn't end there. I mean,
no, it shouldn't end there at all. It should be systemic. And yes, sir, you'll be firefighting every time, because then you'll be chasing and breaking down people's houses. You have to be going around every time chasing people while people have been employed to do the work. The same problem for sanitation.
Make sure that the house doesn't even come up at all.
Yes, or it's broken down as soon as it gets to the foundation level. You see it and then you nip it in the bud. Because I mean, in a functioning country, you shouldn't even see it to get to a level where a human eye can see and break it down. Because that's why you pay those people there. I mean, that's the whole reason why you have those people being paid there.
But it will surprise you, say some people will show you documentation that municipal assembly has given. I mean, so far, out.
So
I'm not going
to signature was to know
simple.
Nobody on the signature was to know sign him a document. No, what's you make an example so that people start doing their jobs, because sometimes it's not only the politicians, sometimes too, okay, still the politicians, because they are supposed to superintend over these ministries to make sure that their directors.
Now, when he was making the speech, now Minister for Lands and them also.
Oh, okay, can motivate okay, and yeah, because you shouldn't, and yet the main job, no. And then the main job, so around he has more important things to do. But he has to stop all those from sanitation in Yemana or and to come and do this pulling down. And Nipa couldn't mean. So if you don't put in the systems which will force people to stop doing this, to prevent, because if there are too many fires, you can't fight all fires. So you have to create a system which reduces the number of fires you want to fight. So the faster we start, enforcing the law and enforcing the people who are supposed to enforce the law, the better it is for us. Or else it will chaos, because it's very difficult to fight 1,000 fires at the same time. If you put in place,
you have to have eyes everywhere.
Everywhere. If you put in place the correct systems, then the people who are supposed to stop the fire before the fire comes up, will stop it.
And our problem is that we already have the system there and we're paying for the system.
Yeah, we're paying for a system, but the system is not doing its job. So why the hell do we have the system? I mean, I can be paying for you to prevent, to oversee this, and you are not doing your job, and we still leave you to just do your job, and we leave you. To go scot-free. We don't sack you. We don't reduce your salary. We don't penalize you. I mean, they just.
I think. If it was any serious country, the DCE for that area would have resigned by now.
They have to be resigned. Even him and the administrators under him.
Come to your district and come do that. Either you do that, or you sack a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, because if you don't do that, we are not going anywhere. People have to do their jobs. I mean, people have to do their jobs. Else we pay a lot of these loans we go and take. You know, more than 3/4 of them you used to pay government salaries. So if you are there and you are still not doing your job and you are still paying, then why the hell do we even have you there?
That's the question. That's the $1 million question. Yeah, at this point, about $1 billion question.
I mean,
wow.
The annoying thing is that the politicians put their own people in charge when they come into power, so they can't even enforce them to do the right thing.
Exactly. I mean, case in point, this finance minister, baby, resigned.
I mean,
the guy is just, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I mean, but that is in every aspect of our our system, because Ghana Airways are good. Ghana Airways, because you come into power and then you put your political people in there who are not competent enough to run the thing, and you can't even sack them because they are your friends. And so they'll just run it down, and then it will hurt the whole country, because you just put CEOs and those boards. They should be hired by Chartered Institute of Organization of Chartered Institute of Chartered Accountants. Bodies, bodies no managing Institute of Engineers. So that the politicians don't hire them, because when the politicians hire somebody there, they put the most incompetent people in there, and they run down all our state institutions, and then we have to pay for the debt.
The board that are supposed to supervise these CEOs,
yeah, so then it's very hard for them to even manage them, because then they don't want to offend their own friends.
Yeah. So look at what is happening to Ghana International Airport.
Yeah,
I mean, the board chair is doing the job of the CEO. CEO no kaya almost sacking.
I mean, that's what we do to Bank for Housing and Construction. We did it to Ghana Airways. We did the same thing to Tamale Refinery. We did the same thing to Valco. We do it to every single state-run organization. We don't put competent people in there. We put our political friends in there, and they run it down for us. And then we have to pay all the debts that comes from them running down the company for us.
Yeah. Now, electricity company wants us to increase electricity.
Exactly the same thing. We put incompetent people in charge, and then they run it down for us, because they just want to do political favors. So you hire your own political friends to come in and into the organization, and then you have a lot of people there who don't know even what they are doing, and then they run down the company. I mean,
All right. Yeah. I think time is fast spent. Kweku, I'm very, very happy that you joined us today. You know, we do this every Thursday, so you know, I have Tybra. I think
economic topic who hear me and the can the me and question me.
I think next I want to tackle agriculture right now. You know, and I mean the economics. I'll need you on that if you can get the time because it has to make sense. You know, we have to discuss because to say, you know, I think that that's our only way out right now of the quagmire we are in now. And I was it. Last person, making sure we can share it for the day.
Yo, my last words in Amakanda. Yeah, the BB last day. Wait to watch a young program was my hand. Na ibi about you, and why in your bread and a pet in your bread. On good no share on for man. Na yes, a Ghana drew, then there be a macan. Ghana drew a yes, see, you mean you are Nayan Sagani dra Ghana Basse. Into see a cassa, Nessa Winyan Joanna as I chain. It drani as this a Ghana. Madasina Michia was no Michia Mayor or Ghana.
Oh, Cape Coast.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I hope so. When
my friends won't birthday though.
Oh, Charlie, happy birthday to them.
Yeah,
I'm worried one.
In soon as the crime in solution will go up, Papa. In Suta,
like,
London Bridge. My bridge in Toy will boo.
Personally, affected a common fee.
Yeah, and a common bridge in Toy will boo. In Sober Far Bridge in Nasan or Yam Suka Crabba. Kwame. It's still London Bridge, you know, painting. My brother, your brother, Abocosis, Yako offer, nay, and you are Casaka crans and Alco. I, in the general line, do.
We're going to catch him.
Yeah,
all right, Charlie, ladies and gentlemen, I'm and Anaya
for the Bacchus.
For the Bacchus, Vera, Ernest, Ne, Ubia, Oberjourney, and not forgetting George. Charles Munya, we're going to expect you at the same time. I hope some of you will get the chance to join us. So Barrister George, we'll join you actually. Once in a while, you got to get a chance to come in so that we can all have a discussion. So there will be us, next Thursday.